It was a cold start to our day today, and there were even some snow flurries early this morning. But temperatures have begun to warm and will continue to do so. I'll have more details on how much warmer the end of our work week will be coming up. Rashad?
Thanks, Emily. Also tonight, a years-old sex assault case hits its second mistrial. We have what's next in the case.
Plus, Charleston leaders consider increasing water and sewer fees. We'll have the changes customers could face. This is News Watch, and your Thursday edition is coming up next.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection, commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.
Well, it's been quite the chilly day around Central Illinois, but could we expect some change? Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Rashad Jones.
And I'm Pierce Lehman. For more, we head to local forecaster Emily Davis. Good evening, Emily.
Good evening. It was definitely a colder day today with high temperatures only reaching the upper 40s and the lower 50s throughout the daytime today. A high temperature of 48 degrees here in Charleston, although we did get up to 52 degrees down in Robinson, 50 down in Effingham. A little bit of sun shining across Eastern's campus, but as we move overnight tonight, we're going to see mostly cloudy skies and temperatures will be dropping down into the 30s for our low. A cold night of a low temperature of 38 degrees overnight tonight, but there will be some southerly winds that will continue into tomorrow, which will begin to warm up our temperatures as we move throughout our daytime tomorrow. A high temperature of 69 degrees, partially due to those southerly winds, but we will be seeing those mostly cloudy skies continue throughout the entire daytime tomorrow. I'll have the full details and the full forecast coming up.
Thanks, Emily. Champaign police responded to a shooting Monday night. Authorities say they were dispatched to the 400 block of East Beardsley Avenue on reports of a shooting with injuries just after 10. On scene, officers found an 18-year-old Champaign man suffering an apparent gunshot wound to the leg. He was treated to a nearby hospital and released. No arrests have been made. Authorities say a nearby home was damaged by gunfire. CDP is investigating the incident, and anyone with information or video footage is asked to call the Champaign police. For the second time, a judge has declared a mistrial in a sex assault case, dating back to 2018. 37-year-old Colton Figgins of Vanilla Grove, was scheduled for a jury trial today on charges of a sexual contact with a 5-year-old girl. Those charges date back to April of 2018. Records show a judge declared a mistrial in the case back in 2023 after jurors couldn't reach a verdict. But records show today during today's proceedings, a judge declared a mistrial again. State's Attorney Jesse Daniels tells Newswatch he couldn't share exactly what happened, but he told us an incident occurred in the jury's presence that would negatively affect the defendant. Figgins is due back in court for a scheduling conference next month. Illinois State Police say while on a traffic stop Sunday, they discovered nearly 100 pounds of methamphetamine. They say they stopped Ivan Kuchuk of Matson, Wisconsin on Interstate 74 just outside of Bloomington yesterday afternoon. Troopers reported finding 99.7 pounds of meth in his car. They say that has street value of nearly $500,000. Police say Kuchuk was taken into custody and is being held at the McLean County Jail.
A Decatur man is convicted on 10 counts of possessing child pornography is now facing additional charges. Douglas Nichols was sentenced to 3 years in prison this past September. Now, according to the Macon County court records, Nichols is facing 4 counts of criminal sexual assault involving a victim between the ages of 13 and 17. Court records show that Nichols' defense filed a motion for a change of venue back in January, arguing that the pre-trial publicity surrounding this case would cause Nichols to not receive a fair and impartial trial. The change of venue motion in Nichols' case will be held on April 17th. Also in Decatur, police are reopening an investigation into an employee of the Decatur Public School District. According to a news release from the department, the investigation into the 21-year-old female employee was first filed last October after police received information that she had sexual relations with a 16-year-old boy. They say that juvenile is not a student in the Decatur public school system. After an investigation, the Decatur police say that case was closed due to a lack of evidence. But Decatur police say on March 27th, they reopened the investigation after receiving another tip. The name of the employee has not been released and no charges have been filed. Staying in Decatur, the City Council has approved a new revitalization plan for the city. City leaders say the new plan, which runs through 2029, takes a more regional approach rather than narrowly focusing on neighborhoods. It also includes funding for demolition problem properties with an estimate of up to 100 demolitions each year. The council passed the plan unanimously at its meeting last night.
The Champaign City Council plans to meet tonight to consider raising funds for a local homeless shelter. Legislation for the council proposes $500,000 increase in budget for Strides, the low-barrier shelter for people experiencing homelessness. The proposal also says the current funding for Strides would run out by the end of this month. With the increase in funding, officials say it'll be enough to last until August of this year. And the Charleston City Council will meet tonight to discuss the rate increase for water and sewer services, as well as changes to the ambulance cost. The council is considering a 76-cent increase per month to sewer and water services under 1,000 gallons. Service for Eastern Illinois University would also increase 73 cents per 1,000 gallons. The council says this increase is necessary to continue the provision of the service. The council will also consider changing the city's ambulance service, including adoption an ambulance fee schedule instead of setting rates based on the federal ground emergency medical transport program. Similarly, council members will look at the $2 increase per loaded mile for ambulance transport. The proposed changes would also codify any annual 3% increase to those per mile changes rounded to the nearest dollar. A local historic site is planning programs to celebrate the nation's 250th anniversary. Lincoln Lawn Cabin State Historic Site in Lerna says they'll host two programs exploring Illinois' history through foods and food traditions and American folk music. Historian and musician Bucky Halker will represent a program on a life of folk singer Woody Guthrie on the afternoon of April 18th. Then on Saturday, April 25th, chef and educator Lori Parrott will represent the Frosted Republic, a program examining Illinois' role in shaping American cake and dessert traditions. You can find more about these events through the site's website. Well, it certainly would have been a good day for Illinois celebrations.
I have to agree. Emily Davis is back with a check of temps and more in the Skywatch forecast.
It definitely was a good day for indoor activities. Our day began with snow flurries and temperatures in the 30s, but they'll warm up to a high near 70 tomorrow. I'll have the full details on a warmer forecast coming up.
Precious gemstones, formed through intense geological processes over millions of years, have been highly valued for their rarity for millennia. But now, these treasures...
These ones are tomatoes. I tried for a long time with oranges and lemons, but they were so pale that we can't actually get the pigment to look visible enough. But whereas with pineapple, that solved my problem.
...can come from trash.
In the West, 40% of food available to us, perfectly good food, goes to landfill sites every year. So I thought to myself, what if we can create a gemstone using pigments from fruits and vegetables, infusing it into a bioresin similar to an amber.
Jeweler Annabella Chan creates these modern marvels by drying, simmering, boiling, and grinding overripe produce to develop a pure pigment powder. What takes the earth millions of years, she can do in a matter of months. And arguably better.
And to get a ruby this size and scale from nature would have been near sort of impossible.
From bold leaps in fashion,
oh, this looks good,
to wild jumps in sport. Hopping's not just for bunnies at this extraordinary Alaskan Easter celebration. where participants played that classic family game, sink or skim. Hilltop Ski Area's 5th annual event featured 64 costumed, brave skiers and snowboarders taking on an ice-cold pond in an epic battle to stay afloat. But in this frosty fight, the water usually wins. For Take a Look at This, I'm Amanda Sansoni.
It was a colder day today across the entire Midwest. Chicago currently only at 38 degrees, St. Louis only getting up into the mid-50s, and only the 40s over in Omaha. And that was the case for here in Charleston as well, with high temperatures only reaching 48 degrees, although other parts of east central Illinois did reach 50 today, but they didn't get very far into those 50-degree temperatures. A high temperature of 52 degrees down in Robinson, 50 degrees down in Effingham. But as we look across Eastern's campus, we're seeing some clear skies, some sun peeking through, and as we move overnight tonight, that won't be the case, but currently we're still seeing that sunshine. Clouds will begin to build as we move overnight tonight. Currently, temperatures aren't dropping much, still around those high temperatures for the day. Currently around 50 degrees still down in Effingham. But as we move overnight, those temperatures are going to drop down into the 30s. A low temperature overnight tonight of 38 degrees. So it's going to be a cold night tonight and a cloudy night as well. Mostly cloudy skies overnight, along with winds blowing out of the southeast. Those winds are going to continue to blow out of the south as we move into tomorrow, eventually warming us up a little bit. But as we move overnight tonight, we're going to see those clouds build. A few chances for precipitation in Champaign and Vermilion County, but likely will not fall due to the drier conditions that we're seeing up there. And looking at our drought monitor, you can see that moderate to severe drought in those counties. But this drought monitor has improved quite a bit because of all that rain we saw last week. We're seeing just dry conditions in most of our viewing area. Just the northern portions of our area now seeing that moderate to severe drought. But as we look forward to this next week, we are going to see a few chances of rain. The biggest chance of rain being on Friday. We are expected to see some scattered rain showers on Friday, but there will be another chance of rain as we move overnight Sunday night eventually as we finish off this weekend. But moving into tomorrow, we're actually going to see temperatures warm up. It's not going to be as cold as it was today. A high temperature of 69 degrees tomorrow, so getting close to that 70-degree mark. And that's because we're seeing those winds blow out of the south, a little bit stronger at 10 to 15 miles per hour, but it's going to be a cloudy day tomorrow as well, with mostly cloudy skies throughout the entire daytime. Although no rain chances, we are going to see some rain as we finish off the work week. But before we get to that, temperatures are going to warm up into the 70s, a high temperature of 72 degrees on Thursday. Those clouds beginning to clear with partly cloudy skies, but those clouds will build and another chance for rain will come on Friday. Scattered rain though, with temperatures dropping down due to that front associated with the rain system, and temperatures are only going to continue to drop down as we move to Saturday. There will be a slight chance of rain on Saturday, but not as much as on Friday, and temperatures will drop down into the 50s with a high temperature of just 57 degrees. But looking past that, we're actually going to warm back up and be above average for this time of year. That average in terms of temperature is currently in the mid-60s for April. And as we look at the end of our 7-day, we're going to see temperatures starting to warm up above that. But before we get to that, temperatures will warm up tomorrow and into Thursday before dropping off on Friday and dropping off as we move into Saturday as well. A high temperature of 57 degrees as we start our weekend, but then temperatures are going to warm up, and they're going to warm up quick with a high temperature reaching 78 degrees to finish off our weekend on Sunday. A little drop down as we start next work week, but still in the lower 70s for next work week. So it was cold today, but temperatures are going to warm back up to the spring-like temperatures once again.
Well, Emily, I'm glad you came to the desk bearing good news. Seeing that temperature goes up makes me happy.
Finally, some good news. Thank you, Emily. Coming up tonight in sports, the EIU volleyball team is building its roster for the next season with a handful of new additions.
Also, after 5 months, a champion is finally crowned. We'll recap last night's thrilling matchup. Thanks for watching. Your WEIU Sports Watch Report is coming up next.
Jet fuel prices are soaring. In summer, travelers are being warned to brace for higher ticket prices. Going.com travel expert Katie Nastro says the sooner you book your trip, the more likely you'll get a good deal, especially now. That's because the war with Iran has caused a global disruption in oil production. Maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has effectively halted. As of Monday, the average price of regular gas in the U.S. was $4.12 per gallon. Since the war broke out, gas prices have jumped more than 38%, according to AAA, and other types of fuel costs are rising for the same reason. And that could mean higher airfares for travelers. Jet fuel prices have doubled in the last 2 months. Fuel represents 20 to 30% of their overall costs, according to airlines' financial reports. And Nastro says it's risky for airlines to drastically increase prices. Here's a tip if you're looking to travel this fall. Nastro says if you book a main economy ticket now and prices drop later, most airlines will allow you to rebook at a lower cost. The difference will be used as a credit towards future travel with that airline. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
After 5 months, 40 games, and all the blood, sweat, and tears put into the season, it's Michigan versus UConn for the national championship. Starting in the first half, Braylon Mullins pulls up for 3, and it's green, giving UConn the lead over the Wolverines. Yaxel Lindenborg has been fighting through injuries, but he misses the layup, but never fear, Rody Gale Jr. is here. Michigan Stars has continued to shine as Eli Kabdu buries the and one to extend the lead. Trey McKinney tries to seal it for the boys in yellow, and his stellar three-pointer puts them up by 9. But the Huskies aren't done that easy, and Solo Ball kisses it off the glass for a ridiculous 3. UConn's now down by just 4. Needing a miracle, Alex Caravan fires up a prayer from deep, but is well short, and after collecting the board, Michigan can finally celebrate. For the first time since 1989, the Michigan Wolverines are national champions, taking down UConn 69-63. It caps off an incredible year for the Big Ten as they win an NCAA title for the first time since the 2000 Michigan State Spartans. Now to the mound, Eastern Illinois baseball laces up for a non-conference matchup against Northern Illinois. Eastern enters this game after winning 2 games out of a 3-game series against Tennessee Tech. Mike O'Connor earned Player of the Week in the OVC for his impressive weekend against Tennessee Tech. O'Connor collected 4 home runs and 11 RBIs over the weekend. Checking the scoreboard right now between the two teams, they are both tied 7-7 in the bottom of the 8th. At the pro level, the Cubs, Cardinals, and White Sox are all coming off of losses. Can they pick things back up? The Chicago Cubs are coming off a loss against the Tampa Bay Rays, which is the first game back at Tropicana Field since the roof was destroyed by Hurricane Milton. As for action today, the Cubbies started play against the Rays just a couple of minutes ago and will play the series finale tomorrow. The St. Louis Cardinals have exceeded expectations but fell 9-6 against the Washington Nationals. The Cards are beginning play against the Nationals at this moment, with the series wrapping up tomorrow afternoon. Now on the south side, the White Sox are hosting the Baltimore Orioles. Stars shortstop Gunnar Henderson just hit a go-ahead 2-run blast in the top of the 8th, and the Orioles keep the lead, winning this one 4-2. The Sox will close out the series against the O's tomorrow just after 1. And just before the Cubbies get going today, they take a huge hit to their starting rotation. 24-year-old Horton is in his second season with the Cubs, and it was announced today that he's undergoing season-ending injury on his throwing arm. On Sunday, Horton was placed on the 15-day injury list with what the team called a strained forearm. At the time, it's unclear if he needs Tommy John surgery on his right elbow. Last season, Horton went 1-4 with a 2.67 ERA as a rookie. With beach volleyball underway for the Panthers, the team also looks to improve their roster for next season. Eastern has signed 7 new players to their roster during this offseason. Two of these signings, including setters Kyle Kuhlman and Peyton Castillo, who chose to come to campus early to participate in the beach volleyball season. After losing 8 players from their last year's roster, the Panthers hope to rebuild their OVC championship squad. Head coach Ryan Millar has high hopes for his team and their future.
And now we've got a new kind of batch coming in. So, we'll take some time during the preseason in the fall to kind of get them acclimated to how we do things and what the culture's like and what are some of the expectations we have of them. But, it's going to take a little bit of time.
The Panthers ended last season with a 24-8 record and earned a spot in the NCAA tournament. Eastern will continue their beach volleyball season in the Austin Peay tournament this Friday. Eastern Illinois track and field teams wrapped up their weekend at the Indiana State Pacesetter meet. In the competition, Eastern finished in third as the EIU men's finished third in team scoring and the women placed fourth. Eastern posted 2 first-place finishes with 8 total top 3 event finishes in a 2-day event. Individually, Michael Atkins won the 5,000-meter run on Friday evening, with teammate Jabero Lesman placing third. As for the women's side, freshman Ashlyn Denny added the other first-place finish for the Panthers, winning the 800-meter run. The track and field team will be back in action in the Illini Deca Jam this Friday. Finally tonight, Eastern Illinois men's golf wrapped up 2 tournaments earlier today. The team split up to attend the Murray State and Tennessee State events, with the Panthers finishing in a tie for 14th at Murray State. At Tennessee State, Reese Claybrook led the way individually for Eastern, tying for 47th at 14 over par. And that's all for sports. Back to you, Pierce.
Thanks, Rashad. Still to come, Emily Davis returns with the final check of the Skywatch forecast. But first, we'll show you some beautiful new photos from NASA's Artemis II mission. Thanks for watching. This is Newswatch on WEIU.
Lego with Luke. Mark Hamill is Lego's new Junior Executive Director of Information, or JEDI, sharing tips on its new Star Wars Smart Play line. On Wednesday, he'll chat with a few fortunate callers live about the new sets. A Late Night Laughs update. Comics Unleashed with Byron Allen is set to move up an hour, taking CBS's 11:35 slot after Late Night with Stephen Colbert signs off May 21st. Allen's comedy game show Funny You Should Ask will fill the 12:35 slot where Comics Unleashed had been playing. Here's your first look at Lord of the Flies, based on William Golding's iconic novel about British schoolboys stranded on a deserted island. The 4-part limited series from the award-winning writer of Adolescence debuts May 4th on Netflix. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
I'm Larry Smith, second-generation EIU Panther and a proud alum of the WEIU program. For nearly 4 decades, I've had the privilege of reporting on some of the biggest stories of my generation, from getting to know so many East Central Illinoisans to a quarter-century on the anchor desks at CNN Sports and Turner Sports, covering major events worldwide, championship celebrations, and even presidential inaugurations. It's been a career that has far exceeded even my wildest dreams. One that would not have been possible without WEIU, which finds itself in peril. Recent legislation in Washington took away the program's federal funding. So on their behalf, I'm asking you to consider making a donation. WEIU is one of the best training grounds in the nation for students who have a passion for journalism, broadcasting, radio, TV production, and they're worth your gift. You can find more info at weiu.net. Thank you in advance for your gift.
Finally tonight, how about this view? NASA has shared these photos taken by the Artemis II crew during yesterday's lunar flyby. One of the photos even shows an Earth set, and another shows an eclipse from the moon in front of the sun. NASA says the crew was about 4,000 miles from the moon at one point. They now hold the record for the farthest humans ever traveled from Earth. Well, the view has been less than spectacular here at home today. Could we expect some sunshine soon? Emily Davis is back with the final check of the Skywatch forecast.
No rain tomorrow, but temperatures are going to warm up with high temperatures nearing 70 degrees tomorrow, a high temperature of 69 degrees due to those winds blowing out of the south at 10 to 15 miles per hour. But after that, we're going to see temperatures warm up even further on Thursday into the low 70s, but they will drop back off again as we finish off the work week. A high temperature of 61 degrees with another possibility of rain on Friday. Although scattered, temperatures will drop down even further as we start our weekend, but warm up as we finish off the weekend and start next work week with a high temperature of 78 degrees on Sunday and staying in the low 70s for next work week.
Hey, I don't think there's any better feeling than knowing the temperatures are about to go up.
I can never complain about it getting warmer. Thank you, Emily. And thank you for joining us. For more news and weather, be sure to check out our website at weiu.net.
There, you'll find a real-time forecast and news videos of the day. If news is happening in your community, let us know by dropping us an email at news@weiu.net.
Have a good night.
TCI Realty, Charleston area's real estate connection. Commercial, land and farm, and residential real estate. Experienced realtors with an up-to-date website at tcirealty.net. TCI Realty supports the students of WEIU Newswatch.
The Charleston House proudly supports Newswatch. Now welcoming guests on Charleston's historic 6th Street, the Charleston House Bed and Breakfast Inn offers refined accommodations in a beautifully restored bed and breakfast. For booking information, visit craigcollection.com or call the number on screen.